2, 1. Hey everybody, thank you for listening to and or watching Teddybears and Tentacles podcast. My name is Quinn. This is episode number 41, and I have with me today Skinny Rick.
Yes, I'm here, as always.
Yeah?
Yep. Still doing things a little unconventionally.
Yeah.
With the keyboard.
Yeah, and we're probably actually going to be doing it more of it, you know.
We might just do this
from
now
forever.
on.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. So today we also have in studio a good friend of mine. I met him a few years ago. He is from Pennsylvania, Brett DiFelice.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me, Quinn.
What's going on, dude? So what brought you down here, man? COVID.
That's something to dig into.
Yeah. What part of Pennsylvania are you?
So I'm right outside Philly in Westchester. A lot
Okay.
of people recognize Bam Margera.
Yeah.
Grew up 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
But up there, unlike here, is you can't even get out of the car without a mask.
Yeah. Still.
Was
there any point where it wasn't as bad?
March 19th till now has been the same. Like they're
Dang.
supposed to be rolling out these phases, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's just what they're reporting. There's really no phases. They've tried to open up a couple things, but for the most part, I've sat in the house for 3.5 months, just completely losing my mind.
Yeah.
So I had to get down here.
Well,
We got Milo's Tea down here. Do you guys have that up there?
Milo's Tea.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that for a second.
It's a burger joint in Alabama. I think it's just in Alabama, actually.
Yeah, it's only in Alabama.
But they sell their tea now, like, I guess not everywhere, but in the South.
Really?
So, like, they sell it at Whole Foods and stuff. It's really good. I like it.
Dude, tea's big up north. I mean, there's so many competition for tea, but no, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Particular. They have good milkshakes there?
I've never
Milo's?
had their. I've
I don't
never had their
remember.
milkshakes. It's their. They got that secret sauce on their burgers that makes it
Oh, that's important.
fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so whenever it first happened, whenever the whole COVID thing first started happening, how long was it? Did it all just happen at once, or?
So people started getting laid off. Like I got laid off on the 20th.
Yeah.
I'm in construction now. We lost $84 million in projects.
Jeez.
It's a lot of dollars.
Yeah, we do. I don't know if Toll Brothers is down here, the contractor, the builder.
I don't know.
They do multi-million-dollar homes at home. So we had contracts with them actually on 2 different residential sites. But our governor decided to shut everything down. Like
Yeah.
New Jersey still had construction, but PA, everything went. And with that, everybody's minds. Like
Yeah.
there's people sitting home, working from home that have not left the couch in 3.5 months. And it's not a good situation. They're talking about another wave coming through this fall.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, with everything going on in the country right now, everybody's at a boiling point because, you know, as Americans, we want to be able to be a little bit free, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that don't want to wear their masks.
Yeah.
But the cases are still continuing to spike, and we haven't been given like an official. They keep saying July 4th. They're gonna put into green, go from yellow to green. The only problem is yellow and green is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Just a different color stream,
Yeah.
basically. So it's really, I'm happy to be down here. Like this has been a good change. Just going out to a restaurant like we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Some you take for granted.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's crazy, man, because nothing ever stopped for us. We got busier here and at my other job. My other job slowed down for a second, but, we never stopped coming in. Restaurants were shut down for a little bit. I had to cook from home more than usual, but that was literally all that happened, really. I went yesterday. I tried to go get a to-go plate from a Chinese buffet.
yeah.
And it was like temporarily closed, and I was like, dude, what's like they're the only I don't get it. And then I tried to go through Panda Express, and I walked in without a mask on. They were like, you gotta have a mask or go through the drive-through. I would have left if I wasn't starving.
It's literally ruining marriages at home.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
People are leaving their significant others because they've been together so long in the house they're about to kill each other.
That's wild, dude.
It's unbelievable.
Get to
It's
know each
so
other.
wild.
For some people, it's the most time that couples have spent together
Right.
ever.
I just,
You know.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever will. I don't think I'm ever gonna get it.
Yeah.
The whole idea of like, I'm about to like freak out on whoever it is you're with.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
It's hard not to look at it deeper too. Like, you know what I mean? What's going on here? As Americans, why aren't we getting out in front of this thing or getting the right things out there to help curb
I don't
this?
know, but I got to go get tested for,
Corvid.
for that camp.
Oh, yeah.
We got to do the nose swab.
I don't know. How does it work? They literally
It goes like 4 inches down your throat.
Can I tell you right now? I can't do that.
You're doing it.
when you
dude.
get tested for the
vid.
the flu or whatever,
Yeah.
and they just like kind of get the back of your mouth,
Yeah, yeah.
I like throw up every
Yeah.
time.
I'm with you. Same
Yeah.
way.
So like,
So you're gonna have to extract
can I
that
do
some
it?
other way.
Can I do it to myself? I think it'd be easier if I could do it.
You could do it
Yeah.
yourself.
I think I could do it to myself, but when you got some lady with some rubber gloves up in your face trying
Yeah.
to like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Like your experiment or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
No.
I feel you. Well, so then a couple weeks ago, how long has it been now? I guess it's been a few weeks, close to a month. The George Floyd death. What did that look like? Where you're at?
Yeah, and I think it's important for everybody, not just, a certain color to speak on it. Like everybody should have a perspective on it because change is happening. It's a good change.
Yeah.
But you gotta be careful on what kind of change it's gonna be, because some people are taking it as an opportunity to form their own platform and run away with this thing in completely opposite direction. Like, we can't forget the guy lost his life over. And if you've ever had run-ins with the law, like a general practice for them is they get on your head if you like resist.
Yeah.
But this guy stood on his neck, for a certain amount of minutes, and Philly has erupted. It's not like a particularly safe place right now.
Yeah.
When it first happened, they looted the whole entire city, and it wasn't as bad as Minnesota, but they didn't want anybody that misrepresented them, let's just say. And I think it's becoming like too one-sided.
Yeah.
I think everybody has to accept the change, and back home right now it's not good. Like it's just a place where if you're not like a political person, or if you don't see color and you just really want everybody honestly to be together and have some peace, it's not a good place right now because everybody's divided.
Yeah.
And it's scary because living up there, it's like, do I want to live somewhere that's so divided?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it too, I mean, it's been these like layers that are building upon one another that is kind of making people crack. I mean, the video of George Floyd being killed circulates around, and you have, I can't remember how many, 14 or 40 million people without jobs right now.
it's like 40. We did, there was 27 million alone in PA that filed for unemployment.
Wow.
Not only a month and a half ago.
Can you find out how many people are unemployed right now? But that amount of people, also having to stay at home from COVID for so long, it's just it's like a recipe for disaster.
Some of these people haven't even got their, like if I didn't get my unemployment, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Some people haven't even gotten their first check yet.
Yeah. It's crazy.
If you think about that, it's insane.
Yeah.
3 months in and you don't even have, how are they paying their bills?
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Like the banks did, the one good thing about this whole thing is everybody did come together on this side of the thing because all my car loans and all that stuff, all the payments that were due, they deferred them out actually until recent. So I had some time to stack a little bit of money, some savings. And I was shocked by that too, because usually lenders are the first ones to just say, basically screw you.
Yeah.
Like, we're not giving you any kind of break.
Yeah. It's a crazy, it's still, I don't know, man. In hindsight, the whole thing is just, it's just really bizarre the way that it all happened. And I mean, you at one point were in finance, weren't you?
I was in IT sales.
Yeah.
Staffing.
Okay.
So I dealt with the contractors on developers, programmers. One of my biggest clients was Comcast, say in Philly.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, you know, we've been working more than ever, you know, and like we make the same amount of money, and I mean, some people are able to rack up unemployment like quick, you know.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, even for, you know, it's lower, it's kind of the lower tier jobs that are still having to work through this time, you know, grocery store
Right.
people, and, you know, stuff like that. It's just crazy, man.
And that's all we have open.
Yeah.
Grocery stores.
Yeah.
Or stores
There?
that have been dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And coming down here is like a completely different world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you don't even want to leave.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, man.
Yeah, you
Cannot
guys just gotta
imagine.
count your blessings and
Yeah.
just understand that like this is like another world compared
Yeah.
to what we're coming up in. That's why I'm glad you guys had me in here.
Whoa, what's going on, dude?
A wasp landed like right on my hand.
A wasp?
Yeah.
Where
Dude,
is
that thing
it?
attacked them. I saw it. It was like an eagle.
Is it here?
It-
Did you get it?
Dude, I don't know, but I'm about to
I saw it.
lose
I saw it go that way.
my mind.
If we have a wasp in here,
I'm gonna.
It wasn't a
freaking-
wasp. It was a moth. It was a moth.
It looked like a wasp, man.
dude.
Was it? Did
I
my eyes
am-
play tricks with me?
Bro, I swear it was a wasp. It had the little freaking butt thing and all that business.
Dude, if I get stung by a wasp,
I'll
Bro.
feel horrible if I called it a moth.
I'm
I saw it attack you though, dude. It came right in.
Bro. I can't do wasps, man. All right, wasps and spiders. I can't.
There have been some in here, dude. I've killed a couple in the building.
See, that's why he just attacked Isaac, dude. He's coming for vengeance. Look what
Yeah.
you did.
Wasp
Bro,
baiter.
I can't. I'm sweating now.
Yeah.
I'm real sweaty.
This man of water, Gwen. Jesus.
Yeah. So the
No.
whole everybody got the $1,200 stimulus check, dude.
I'm gonna be twitching for the rest. I'm gonna be tripping
Well-
for the rest of this.
Here's the thing: not everybody did get that. There's still people that haven't gotten their stimulus or unemployment.
Yeah. Yeah. But everybody has filed for it that would want it.
Right.
I don't understand why it takes the time that it does for some of that stuff.
If you don't have direct deposit, right?
Yeah.
So the generation above us, they're not all computer
Yeah.
efficient, right? They
Yeah.
they do still get checks in.
Yeah.
Right. That generation's still alive. So unfortunately, they're the ones that have been suffering through it. But the rest of us, if you just do direct deposit on your tax return, it was in there. I got it the first week.
Yeah, I did too.
You did
Got
too.
it quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like-
got it real quick. I get my taxes super quick, like within a few days of whenever I file them.
Oh,
most of the
really?
time. Yeah.
That quick?
Yeah.
Oh, mine takes a couple months. Definitely.
It always goes quick for some reason. Maybe it's because I file them like immediately. I'm waiting on them.
Right.
You know.
Right. I didn't see my tax return this year.
Still.
No,
Oh, you just
I got
didn't
it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. I gotcha. Me either. To be fair.
That makes
Yeah.
me feel a little better.
I can't get them because I'm filed as a dependent
Right.
on my
right.
parents. So
That's nothing to be ashamed of, dude.
Yeah.
You ride that out as long as you can.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Let me tell you.
That's the truth.
Quinn and I are approaching grandpa stage, so
Yeah, dude.
we're not young men anymore, Quinn.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
old enough to have had basically like 13 kids, one a year. If I, you know.
Dude, the generation before us had kids
the
at
heck?
18.
Dude, what is it? The freaking 1800s, bro?
Yeah,
What
seriously.
are you talking about?
It makes you feel so unaccomplished sometimes.
Bro,
though.
we're about to catch Quinn rolling up in like a stagecoach with 17 babies.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I could see that though. I could see you with a ton of kids,
Eggs,
dude.
dude.
Just
I don't
spitting
know,
them
man.
out, just popping them out left and right.
Yeah.
I could see it. Once you get
I'm not
going,
into
it's
it.
not gonna stop.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Dude, you have a big family too. Like it's coming.
Oh, it's only 3 of us, dude.
That's big.
3
family.
boys. Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't realize how young your brother was
Yeah, he's
And-
he's a little. Well, he's a few years older. than me.
until I saw a picture.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, what the heck? This man looks young.
He's 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, being 18 is you gotta enjoy that.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get it back.
Yeah, but also, like, I'm 18 while there's COVID, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do, dude? You can't even like.
I
you
mean,
can't-
I'm working.
You
so
can't do cigarettes here until you're 21 now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to do?
I could buy a lottery ticket, but also I don't even know what I'd do if I won. So
Yeah, don't buy a lottery ticket.
You're free though, dude. Like you're
Yeah.
dependent. Like go run wild.
yeah, dude.
Within respect to be safe, but enjoy yourself now, dude. Because the responsibility comes and it comes quick, and you're supposed to hold yourself to a certain type of person at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
It's like expected of you.
Well, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He's as good of a person as it gets.
Bro, I'm paranoid now with this wasp in here. I'm like twitching. My legs keep shaking.
You're wearing shorts too, bro. It could get,
Can I tell you right now
Close it
that
off.
as a child, my parents were always like, don't bother the bees, don't bother the wasps. Like, don't mess with them. They won't mess with you. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And as soon as I started getting comfortable around them, dude, a wasp, I'm riding my bike and it just right in the forehead, bam, between the eyes.
Did it hit you with the stinger?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it got
man.
me right between the eyes.
You swell up?
Oh, I think I'm actually a little bit allergic because I swelled up real bad and I like passed out. So
Oh, yeah. I'd say you probably have some allergicness in there.
yeah.
You got to be careful, dude. Your throat might close up. You got to take that seriously.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's why I'm thinking we should kill this thing before it kills me.
Yeah. It's got to be over there.
why don't articles ever just give you the number?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to read through this because there was a New York Times article that the headline reads that it claims like 40 million unemployed right there. Hold on, crap, I'm ruining it. Okay.
Sounds pretty close.
The headline is U.S. jobless claims past 40 million. Live business updates, but the thing is like also they talk about Trump, so
Well, of course.
I just want a number,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Dude, you know what kind of effect
think it's
that can
close
have
to
on
40.
the economy, though, when you don't have that commerce circulating? You got 40 million people. Obviously, there's unemployment right now.
Yeah.
If they don't extend the unemployment, there's going to be, you're looking at possible depression.
Here's the thing. I think that the unemployment is really good and is very helpful, but everyone I know that's my age talks about how they make more money filing unemployment than if they went to work at their jobs. And so I think that like we've got a lot of people abusing it because I hear people all the time be like, oh, I'm just going to keep filing for unemployment, like not go back to work. So
You're 100% correct.
it's
dude.
tough
Yeah.
when because we want to put these systems into place to help people.
Right.
And it ends up getting taken advantage of.
Well, what they're doing is they give you an extra $600 a week on top of what you already make regularly. So if you make $529 a week, bi-weekly, it's about $926, right? And then you get an extra $600 a week, which comes out with taxes $540 a week. So that's
much
another
to make in
that's
a week.
another $1,080 on top of the $926.
I do not make that much.
Right. As a teen, like they should. If you're a dependent or you're a teen,
Yeah.
no offense, but you don't need that much.
No.
They should
No,
spread
no,
it out
no,
to.
I'll tell you right now, dude. I'm working 2 jobs and freelancing some stuff on the side. I don't make that much in a week, bro.
I mean, for
Like-
frame of reference, like we have worked the entire time during COVID and made the same amount of money, and it's half of what you make a week. Like that's what I make a week.
Wow. Put that in perspective for a
Yeah.
second.
That's why socialism will never work.
Dude, it's encouraging to me though, seeing an 18-year-old hustling.
I've been doing it since I was like, I don't know, 13 maybe. I mean, I did the whole like as a kid mowing lawns, like doing stuff like that, trying to make some cash, and then I got the opportunity to go work for a.
Put this camera on you for a minute.
Oh yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting. I got the opportunity to go work for a catering company up in South Carolina.
Okay.
My best friend's mom was one of the managers.
Okay.
And so I'd ride with her and my best friend up into South Carolina on weekends and work weddings and stuff. And that was like, you got there at, sometime in the morning and, you work
Through the night.
till like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's
2
like a
a.m.
lot of work.
And it's just moving, just moving crates of stuff.
Yeah.
Constantly moving tables, things like that. So
Yeah, taking care of all the catering stuff
Yeah.
that you have to do.
yeah, I did all that. I worked as a bus boy for a while for them, so I would help set up, carry. So the thing is it's a lot of it's not old ladies, but like 40,
Yeah.
50 years old,
Right.
and if there's me in a room and then there's a 40-year-old lady in a room and they need someone to carry something, it's not going to be her.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
like it would be set up all day, as soon as the event. Oh, I hit a CrossFit on accident.
That's a nice hustle for you.
As soon as the night starts, I start bussing tables, doing dishes, taking out trash. Then at the end of the event, pack it all up and ride in the the box truck, whatever, back to the warehouse and unload. And it was good until they started having to cut pay for like young, so like for like the teenage
Right.
employees,
Right.
like they got their pay docked a bunch, and then just ran into some situations where like I was basically just got kind of taken advantage of at one point,
Mhm.
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna, like, I can't keep doing this. I'm
Yeah,
not
right.
making enough money.
Right.
And so but yeah.
Do you have? Let me ask you this: do you have a lot of your friends that work like that?
I've got one friend who works 2 jobs. Yeah. That's my best friend, the one that I worked with. And we've both just, I mean, we just work, and, you know, we try to have money so that we can do stuff.
Dude, you're a rare stock, man. Everybody, these kids want to be on TikTok, make it big.
Well, it's funny too, because he's TikTok famous too.
So-
He blew up like overnight one day.
It can happen, but
And I did the same thing, but on a much smaller scale. So I think I've got like 11,000 followers and like
Oh, yeah?
200 something thousand likes. I don't know. So
pretty good.
it's not hard on TikTok as long as you're posting stuff. He's a lot funnier in the sense of like he actually comes up with little sketches and stuff to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
on
yeah.
there. I just post whatever I'm thinking.
Right. No, you guys are creative. It's just, and Quinn, like, you probably know this, just through life experiences, I have a couple of people ask me to talk to their kids. They're like 19, 20 years old at the end of college, just, you know, doing some stupid stuff. And none of them, like, they don't have jobs and they don't want to have any intention of kind of working to better themselves, you know? Because it's like, for who, for what?
Whenever he says that he's been doing that
Yeah.
since he was 13,
Yeah.
he's been doing it since he was 13. I mean, he's been doing it, like, you know, look, his dad tries to get me to fuss at him sometimes.
Yeah.
And I tell him this. I tell him this every time, and, and I mean it.
Yeah.
Like, he is the best person
Yeah.
that I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like, period.
That's
and
awesome.
he's every time his dad's like, well, thanks, but you still need to tell him to, like, wake up, set his alarm for the right time, you know, or whatever. And
You gotta
it's
try and keep them level, you know? But
it's-
yeah, for the most part, I can tell he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Dude,
Dude, you're a rare
sometimes
stock.
it's just like, yo, dude, like, I get it, but like what my mom had to deal with whenever I was a teenager wasn't what time I was getting to work.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I will say I do have a hard time. I'm not like, I love being up late, but I can't be up late and be up early at the same time. I know, like, my dad can do it. Some people can do it. They can, you know, they don't need sleep, but my body, if I don't get 8 hours,
Dude,
like,
you don't know how ahead of the curve you are just having that mindset.
I'm going to get messed up.
Like, let me just put it this way. You will never not have a job.
Yeah. Like
There's no competition for you.
like last night we were up till like 2 a.m. having to clean our house because we're getting some photos taken today to put it on the market.
Okay.
And so like this morning, like because I got my alarm set for like 6:30 every morning because it takes me a while to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So if I set it for 6:30, I'll probably get up around 7:30 or 8.
Okay.
And but I slept straight through it. It was like 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
My mom was like, yo, we're supposed to be leaving. And I was like, I can tell you right now, I'm not leaving yet. It's like, I got to take a shower.
Yeah.
I got to get some breakfast.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to fit your process in, dude. You got to get that process in.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, it's impressive, man, because it's like, even for me, being 30, I know there's not a lot of competition under me to like work hard.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we got a couple 22-year-olds at our company, and they like to watch you work.
yeah. Through like my high school experience, because I was homeschooled, but I went to a co-op, so I had a class.
Okay.
I had a teacher.
Yeah.
And he was like ex-Navy, I'm pretty sure is what it was. And he just was very, not strict, but like, I don't know, I guess militant in a way, but he just pushed us very hard to like be responsible. And so one of his biggest things was, he was like, we live in a competitive world. He was like, and pretty much everyone in the class, it's like a Christian type thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a Christian school, but a lot of it is based around that.
Christian practice.
Yeah. And he was like, his biggest thing was like, you can't just sit here and goof off, and then when you need God, be like, oh God, help me get this job, help me pass this test. He's like, it's like, what if you got, let's say, he would point at two of us, he'd be like, let's say you right there, let's say, you you're out goofing off, all right, and then you've got a job interview, and you know you're not putting in the work, you're not, you know, showing up on time. You don't show up on time. You look sloppy, like, but you're like, oh God, help me get this job.
Right.
And then he's like,
Right.
but then this person over here is actually working for it and
Right.
is also saying, God, help me get this job. He's like, does that seem fair to give
Yeah.
it to you? So his biggest thing was always like, you got to earn it. You got to be responsible. You got to like make sure that you're the person that they want to keep
That's
around.
awesome,
So
I'm glad you had that guy to learn under, because that sounds like a good dude.
he's a good guy. I didn't get
valid.
to do my senior year with them, unfortunately, but yeah.
That stinks, man.
Well, let's shift back over real quick. We only got about 15 minutes until we got a little bit longer, but Nick's going to be showing up here shortly. So the next thing that I want to talk about, I did not have tabs ready for you today for this reason, because
You want me to look it up?
because I wanted to see your reaction without knowing
What's about to happen?
first.
All right,
Yes.
all right.
So
what am I searching?
they have found Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, okay. All right.
She you can start looking it up.
I can't spell her name no matter how many times we do it.
Ghisle, and then there you go.
Yeah. See, that's not. Just spell it regular,
Yeah.
dude.
You got to get in the background of her father a little bit while he searches that. Or the audience now.
So you can you could just click that middle one right there. So they found out that she's in Paris in like this luxury
What do
estate
you want me to?
or something like that.
Wasn't that where Snowden hid out at?
He was
in Paris for a while.
he was at the Ecuadorian embassy in London.
Okay.
No. You're talking about Snowden.
Snowden.
He is in
Snowden
Russia.
he did a Russian.
Russia, that's
Yeah,
right.
he's in Russia.
Disappeared into the snow
Yeah.
with them polar
I
bears.
thought he did his interview stuff in Paris and then went to Russia. They got him
He
that
may have.
passport. Remember they got him the passport?
Yeah, Julian Assange got
Yes.
him the passport.
Yeah.
Julian Assange is at the Ecuadorian embassy, and I think he might be
Wow.
arrested or something.
Supposedly,
now,
they think
yeah.
there's a theory that he's just dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just saying, isn't that a coincidence though? You got her in Paris again, like it's
Yeah.
a hub.
I mean, honestly, if these people who are running the show know the spots to be,
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing. You got to think about it with anything. When there's a group of people, there's a generally accepted, like, you know, good place
Right.
to eat lunch,
Right.
good place to do that. Like, so it's probably just that.
What's his name? Director guy.
The Canadian dude,
French.
the French Canadian,
Sharon Tate's.
what
Uh,
are you talking about?
you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
I do.
dude.
Hold on. We just
I-
talked about
I
this.
don't know.
We just talked about this.
Roman Polanski.
Roman
He was
Polanski.
able to flee to Paris, and he's still there. He just doesn't go where extradition laws do with the U.S.
Right.
And so
right.
he's gotten away with it. He puts out movies. He lives his life in Paris, dude. And so that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like she's doing. Honestly. Yeah.
You gotta. There's a big, like Isaac was saying. There's people all behind the scenes here. Like this is not one man show or one woman show. This is a well-oiled machine that's starting to come apart.
Oh yeah. That's one of my look throughout like the COVID stuff and the George Floyd stuff. Like one thing that has happened in the meantime is that people have woken up, you know, to all of the BS pretty much.
Well, it's because people don't have anything to do, so they're finally like, "Why am I here?"
Right.
Yeah. It's
what are
with
we
nothing
doing?
to do and all this
Yeah.
anger building up, dude. It's not like building up to be a good ending.
yeah. It started with Epstein,
Right.
And people were like, "What the heck?"
Right.
And then all of this stuff started happening. You can ask him. I had this theory and I still think that that's what they were trying to do. Bill Gates was showing up, and he was on CNN like every night talking about the vaccines and stuff. I think, and then everybody started flooding his social media with like, "You're a globalist. You're trying to, you know," and basically like stifled his voice. But I think that
Some
they were
people called him the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I-
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think that he was trying to set up they were trying to set him up as the presidential candidate.
Oh, you think that?
That's what I think they were trying to do. Nobody else.
Push him
they
into
were,
Democratic?
yeah, the only other person that
Is
they
he
were.
Democrat?
Yeah, the only other person that they were putting
I think anyone's really a Democrat if it's, you know,
I
if
think
it's
the
about running.
requirements of
left
loosened up.
left wing.
Yeah. You want Biden, or do you want somebody that's going to actually be?
Do you want Biden, or do you want someone who remembers what their name is?
Exactly. Not on the verge of death, dude. You know.
So it's woken people up, all this stuff, and I love it, dude. You know, I love, even if Tom Hanks, like, I don't know if Tom Hanks is a pedophile or not, but the fact that his Twitter account is filled with people calling him a pedophile makes me happy, because people are finally going, like, you know, all these elites have, you know, they're all hiding a little bit of something.
Not to say he has
apparently,
that look,
dude.
he kind of has that look, doesn't he, Tommy?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I made a joke, and it's pretty funny. It's like you're fine unless you make more than $40,000 a year. Then you're a pedophile elite. You know.
Well, dude, you got an African American being killed. Then you have a white guy who's a pedophile who got away with it for years. It's like total opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, when you put this stuff out in the media, you got to understand that there's going to be people aren't going to take much more. Yeah. I mean, and then where's the government going to go from here? Yeah. You know, if this is another thing that ends up being like a black stain, if those court documents get released, which I think Trump's going to go to the Supreme Court and smash that all up in another 50 years before we see him. But
I think the biggest thing to remember is we do have good people that work in the system that are trying to get stuff done. Like obviously someone is making stuff happen if we're even looking for Glenn. Or if we're even like, if Epstein ever even was arrested to begin with, like there are people trying to do their jobs, but we just got a lot of people with power. And that's the biggest thing, is that power really doesn't do anything except like the fact that they have money isn't what's controlling people. It's the fear. It's oh, they'll ruin my career, you know.
It's just like
they can't kill us all is my thing. And if they could, I guess, but like also, why would you do that? Because then you wouldn't have any.
You can't get in a legal battle with somebody who's loaded. If you're
for sure
make medium rate. You know what I mean? So that's where the power comes in.
That's why we need to start a GoFundMe, dude. We'll call it the People's Elbow.
Right. Dude, it's not a coincidence though that this guy was running a whole island out there, free to do whatever he wanted. You know, like
keep forgetting.
Who are the people that turn their heads to that? That's who should be identified as well. Not just
but
like,
with that court agreement or whatever, the thing that they settled on, that we can't like prosecute or like disclose who he was working with.
Oh, I saw that.
Which is, I think, just the dumbest thing ever.
Which is what that's what they're trying to kill, because basically, you know, him being arrested again in the first place for it is, you know,
he was their fall guy.
For sure.
He was their fall guy. And there was nobody else going down with the ship except for him. And he already had that one charge, which made it easy. It's like people aren't going to sympathize with somebody that's already been arrested once for it.
And the biggest question is, you know, who was higher up on the totem pole? Was he higher up, or was, you know, these people that he surrounded himself with?
That is a good question. I mean, it could be that he was higher up on it and someone saw the opportunity and was like, dude, I'm freaking, it's a power grab.
Dude, he had...
Get him arrested, you know, get him killed so that he can't speak on it.
Share the truth.
Well, because I think part of it is, I don't know if he would have ever spilt the beans, but I think like they wanted him dead so that he couldn't ever
have like a guilty conscience.
Couldn't ever get out, so that like, I don't know. Because the thing is like, if you are above him, right? Let's say like in this group of people, as far as power wise, if you're above him, why have him killed if he already has worked for you for this long, successfully pulled it off for this long, and you know, the whole, what's the technical term for like the agreement that they came to where he actually can't, like they can't come after the people he works for. So I think the reason to have him killed is if you were someone that was under him that's trying to get up, push themselves up.
Yeah, I mean, it just
get him out.
You know, have you ever seen the picture that they found at his house? That painting that they found in his house?
I saw the painting.
The Bill Clinton one.
Yeah.
It just, to me, that's enough to be like, who's higher up on the on this totem pole? You know, and it seems like potentially maybe he was.
Think about this theory here, though. Ready? Like a drug user. Take them. You know how they have a weakness of their drug that they like. What if this guy was sick? He was a pedophile, right? He liked young girls, and he agreed to do what he did to get his fix.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? While he was controlled.
Yeah. Run the sexual blackmail operation.
Exactly.
And we'll keep him
And he was so sick that he couldn't, like, he needed to do it.
It's possible, dude. They used to blackmail people with being gay back in the day all the time. I mean, there's, if you know, there's a good chance that, you know, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, if you were a gay man, if there was a gay man that was in power, it was because they got blackmailed into it.
Right. Yeah.
If you were into a wiener back then, dude, it
didn't come with a schnitzel.
Yeah.
They'd get you, bro.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It's not, you know.
And so the other thing that I wanted to bring up real quick, you know, that ties into all this stuff, Alan Dershowitz, who is was Epstein's lawyer, you know, in that Netflix doc, Virginia Giuffre called out him, you know, accusing him of rape in the documentary. He denies it, and there's currently an investigation on him. He's trying to access the documents to prove his innocence. You know, I don't think I don't think anybody should. It's bad for the person holding those documents if anybody knows where they are at any point in time.
Can I ask a very serious question?
I think somebody has them.
Why is everyone so old that's doing this?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Like, dude, imagine, what if it's just the next generation that's like, all right, you guys have had your turn. Go ahead and get out of here. What if that's what's going on? What if we've got a whole nother...
Well, at a certain age, women change, right? Their bodies change. And you get these older men that are still men, you know? And they aren't young anymore, so it's not like the young women are going to be attracted to them. So they become kind of predatorial.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but...
If it's in you, like that, everybody will say, that wouldn't be me. Yeah, it's sickening to me to see. Kind of,
dude,
you know what I mean?
If the girl is young enough to be your kid,
right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? How do you even?
If she's half your age and you're still older than her,
right?
If you
I would feel like it was my daughter. Honestly, I feel like I was socializing with my daughter, and it wouldn't even be what points of interest do we have?
That'd be so weird.
Other than what's in your sick mind.
Yeah.
And all these players here, they were all took part on that island.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him over there running around on a playground.
Yeah.
They all visited.
Yeah.
They got Prince Charles?
Prince Charming, dude.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew, dude.
Prince of Wales over there, and you know.
They even got him with like have you ever seen that BBC interview with him?
No, I didn't see
dude,
that.
he's like,
I didn't do it.
She said that the night that we had sex, we were in a dance club and I was drinking and sweating, and he's like, and I can tell you right now, he's like, at that point in my life, I had a condition that didn't allow my sweat glands to produce sweat. So there's no way that this is true. And it's like, everybody was like, all right, man, you know.
Typical
rich,
rich white guy response.
The Duke of York.
Yeah. Like, how can you prove my sweat that night?
Yeah.
I had a condition.
Yeah.
Who comes up with that?
Yeah. He did it, dude.
Yeah.
On BBC.
Yeah, because he's not used to reality.
Yeah.
He's a prince.
Yeah.
You know? If you're
That's
a prince
crazy.
or king, you haven't been in reality ever. You know, you wake up and you're on the royal throne.
Yeah.
What kind of reality is that for someone?
It's like when they said he was stepping down from his royal responsibilities, and I was like, oh, what responsibilities, bro?
Right.
Having your food brought to you every day? Oh, guys, all right. Tell you what, I know I messed up. I'll go to the kitchen. I'll get my food myself.
I'll do it this time.
I'll make the food.
Like
today.
You have to show up at a party, make an appearance.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of appearances to do and a lot of the commitment. Dude, you have to show up somewhere and drink some alcohol and socialize.
Imagine if that was your job, dude.
Right.
All right, listen, I get it. I'm going to need you to go to this person's house. It's going to be a bunch of other people. Dress kind of nice.
Right.
Go drink a little bit. Have some like cheese cubes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you guys hear about the new one with Meghan Markle? The theory behind that, or why she dropped her royal responsibilities? Next president of the United States. She's gonna make a run, be the first interracial woman ever.
You can't run though if you're not American, right?
She has her visa. I don't think she became
you
a
have to be
permanent
born
citizen
here.
of Europe. Wasn't she born here?
Was she born here?
Yeah.
If she was born here, then I think she can do it.
Her
Because that was the
father's a
whole
white
thing. Who
guy.
was the Canadian dude that was like, everyone was like, well, you can't even run last election cycle. Like
Oh.
back before, was it
I know who you're talking about.
Carson?
Who was that guy?
Is that the
Yeah,
guy?
it was Carson.
Ben Carson?
Yeah, because he didn't have his.
because he was like born in Canada,
Right.
And so everyone's like, you can't even run, and then he just like,
Yep.
like no one heard from
Yep.
him after that.
Meg Markle's dad's white and her mom's black from here.
So
I don't know anything about her, so all I'm saying, dude, is if
That's
you got someone who's on the level, that's fine. But like, I don't know what's her deal. I don't know.
So they're in LA now. Yeah, I saw that they were trying to move because they had a bunch of paparazzi drones set up outside their
She has
house.
basically ruined his life.
Yeah.
So, you know the two princes, right? Princess Diana's two kids,
Yeah.
William and
Harry.
Yeah. Harry's the
Well,
one
so
who
Harry-
like Harry's the one who him and his wife like left the
Meghan Markle.
That's her.
Yes. She was a movie star.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
They were
Hollywood.
trying to go to Canada, and
So
Canada was
she was
like,
not. That's
"No,
right.
dude."
That's right. They got married, and it was a whole thing because she was like not,
She sunk her
royal,
teeth into him.
and
like-
then
Apparently, she ruined like his whole. Like he has
Really?
he has no friends or connections left.
that's
because,
messed up.
Yeah.
You
You can't believe everything real, but
it seemed like such a happy wedding though when
Yeah.
it was happening. I remember
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
what has to be
Look at
that
that
bad
dress.
that you want to get out of that role? I don't understand.
Dude.
Probably a
I
couple
mean,
of pedophiles.
yeah, we've covered a lot of the royal family.
you find out that
Yeah.
you find out that your parents-in-law are
Right.
keeping kids down in the basement. You probably get
Yeah.
a little freaked out.
So Queen Elizabeth and her husband in like what year was that?
It was in the 70s,
In the 70s.
76, I think.
Took 10 native Canadian children out for a picnic, and the kids never returned. They were charged with it, and then she got arrested in the 90s on a warrant for it,
Really?
and it never
How did this slip?
hit the
Man?
media.
No, so she
never-
got charged guilty, and no one I can't
Really?
spell, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
I'm usually on this kind of stuff, dude. I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
No,
This is a thing.
Oh yeah. No, just do Queen Elizabeth.
this
You want to talk about fraud and like corruption? Like you imagine.
Just
what
type
goes on?
in Queen Elizabeth and the missing children.
Oh, that's the other thing, Quinn.
Not second. Just do Queen Elizabeth.
oh
Quinn, everything on Netflix, dude. I was like watching everything from the 16 to 1700s.
Oh
I
yeah.
like went through a kick of
I've been on a Western kick, dude, because I got to watch
Hell on Wheels.
Tombstone for the first time ever
Tombstone's
this
good.
last week. Bro, Doc
Here we go.
Holliday is
Yeah.
basically just what I aspired to
You can go
be.
to the first
Right, you
one.
know what you have to watch?
Minus the dying part. And,
Check out Hell on Wheels.
okay.
It's an AMC original, dude. It's about building the railroad back in the 1800s.
Just click that first one.
Check that out.
I got
All
to
Western.
because the way it started was I was like, yo, I really like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so I was like,
it's
I
good
want to see
acting.
The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
So we watched that. And
Right.
my dad was like, have you ever seen Tombstone? I was like, no, I've never seen Tombstone. So we watched that. Now I'm watching through the Wyatt Earp movie, the one that's like 190 minutes long.
Yep. Wyatt Earp with what's his
I'm
name
only like a
played?
few minutes in it.
Okay, I won't ruin it.
So, but yeah.
All good.
Deadwood is Deadwood's got
Okay.
it got a naked in it
Oh.
a bunch. Scroll down some.
You'll like Hell on Wheels though, dude. If you like Tombstone, and you'll like it a lot. Like it's all about Western. It's about the natives when we were building the railroad through their country, and how the Americans just like muscled our way through.
It says verdict false.
Yeah, but read it.
The article published by the website NBCM News alleges that Queen and husband Prince Philip were found guilty in 2013 by 6 judges of the International Common Law Court of Justice. Here's my question before I keep reading. How are they going to say that it's false if they definitely, like, here's the thing. If you take a class, how many kids was it? 7 kids?
She said 20.
20 kids?
10.
10 kids?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you take 10 kids, okay? You go on a field trip.
All right.
Those kids never come back home. How is that? How do you say that that's false?
Right.
Like I don't care what the technical term is.
Right.
Go.
Here's the thing. If I give you my child to watch
You entrust.
and I
them.
come
Yeah.
back
Right.
and you don't have my child,
Right.
I don't care if you kidnapped them or you were negligent and lost them. Like that's
Like,
just
were these orphan kids? Like who?
Go
how
to
do
the
you-
They
actual
had
story.
parents,
This
I'm
is like
pretty
a
sure.
Snopes situation anyway, which Snopes is like a dude and his girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not really.
Found guilty in missing children.
Well, if
That's
they've
Pinterest.
if they've done this,
The
think about what
Guardian.
they've done
Do
before.
the Guardian one.
Like, how do you just do that and expect to get away with it? Like, how dark is your past?
Uh,
I don't think that's the first time.
your
they've done it.
privacy.
Hit, I'm okay with that. Whatever.
No.
Up until 1970, the UK regularly shipped thousands of orphans and illegitimate children abroad to a life of
There you
virtual slave labor and often abuse.
There you
I
go.
can't say that name. Gilia?
Julia.
Julia
Julia
So
Rhodes.
French, dude. Julia Rhodes. Julia Rhodes meets 2 victims of a policy that robbed them of a childhood and a
So
family.
scroll down.
That's ridiculous.
Sunday evenings were the highlight of the week when Tony Costa was a child
Yeah, we don't want to do all this. Scroll down. I just want to get to where it says.
that she did it.
Well, then it said then in the other
What?
words.
Yeah,
So
so right
these were
here,
orphans. They
yeah.
were orphans.
Yeah, he was 11 in 1953. Set sail for Australia. I was taught I would ride on a horseback to school and pick fruit from the trees.
Oh my
Was
God.
going to enjoy my life. Scroll down.
We lived in a constant fear of being flogged or molested. We had no dignity or self-esteem. I would cry my eyes out at night and wonder what I had ever done to deserve such treatment when I had committed no crime. We were told we were the sons of whores and the lowest form of humanity, says Tony.
Wow.
Age 16, Tony left Bandung, taking a job in a factory, but only when he reached 21 was he given his birth certificate.
Oh my God.
I learned my parents were called Kathleen, Mary, and Thomas. Kathleen, Mary, and Thomas Joseph. Oh, they both have first names for
Yeah.
their first and last names?
Are those 3 different people or those 2?
No, called Kathleen Mary. So her first and last name are both first names, but also Thomas Joseph has a first name for both his first and last name. A Belfast man, and that I was born at St. Mary's Hospital.
Like, what gives somebody the right to be able to do that? Like, I'm taking possession of your life, and I'm going to tell you what it
I
is.
mean, but
So-
we also do that here.
So
Like,
the-
we also go in
To
and
an
take.
extent,
We
yes.
also go in and I mean,
It's
the
true.
system is designed to help prevent kids from being abused. But what ends up happening is that you take a kid from their family, and then they're probably going to get put somewhere where they're just
Right.
going to be abused by a different. Like, my biggest thing is at least it's their parents.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like if
Definitely.
if you're going to get abused by a stranger
Right.
or a family, because at least with the family you have more. I don't know.
There's a connection.
There's yeah.
bloodline.
And either way, it's bad, and but you get a lot of kids who run away. Like, I know people who talk about how they don't even really know where their parents live because as soon as they turned 18, they ran away.
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah,
when I
yeah.
say ran away, I mean legally they just moved out. But
Right.
you know,
So this right here is all this is all
That's
like
crazy.
some type of court filings. Signed statement by survivor witness followed by a copy of a letter already given to the Queen in January 2008 by residential school survivors in Canada. Statement of William Arnold Combs. I'm an interior Salish spirit dancer and I'm 58 years old. I live in Vancouver, Canada.
Spirit dancer.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm a survivor of the Kamloops and Mission India residential schools, both run by the Roman Catholic Church. I suffered terrible tortures there at the hands of especially Brother Murphy, who killed at least 2 children. I witnessed him throw a child off of a 3-story balcony to her death. He put me on a rack and broke some of my bones. In September 1964, whenever I was 12 years old, I was an inmate at the Kamloops school, and we were visited by the Queen of England and Prince Philip. I remember it was strange because they came by themselves, no big fanfare or anything. But I recognized them, and the school principal told us it was the Queen, and we all got given new clothes and food for the first time in months the day before she arrived. The day she got to school, I was part of a group of kids who went on a picnic with the Queen and her husband and school officials down to a meadow near Dead Man's Creek. After a while, I saw the Queen leave
hey
that picnic.
children,
It
let's
makes me
go
sick.
down to
Yeah.
Dead Man's Creek.
Makes me sick to my stomach, dude.
I saw the Queen leave the picnic with 10 children from the school, and those children never returned. We never heard anything more about them and never saw them again, even when we were older. They were all from around there, but they all vanished. The group that disappeared was 7 boys and 3 girls from the age 6 to 14 years old. And so it's saying that she...
Was there ever an investigation or anything into it?
She got, I mean, I'm pretty sure she got found guilty. And
so this is Saturday,
never got,
July 3rd,
got
2010.
yeah, never got
sure.
like actually punished.
Dealt with.
This is 2010. This weekend, protesters in Winnipeg and Toronto will confront Elizabeth Windsor, aka Queen of England, with unanswered letter asking that she identify the fate of Aboriginal children under her care. Signed statement, and then that was that. She was littered on January 14 or 24, 2008. Queen Elizabeth Windsor was issued a letter of demand yesterday that requires that she identify the fate and burial sites of all the children who died in Indian residential schools established under the authority of Church of England and the British Crown. The letter was handed personally to Governor General Michelle Jean by original Elder Carol Martin with the Downtown Eastside Women's Center in Vancouver in the afternoon of Wednesday, blah, blah, blah.
He should be hung too.
Sure that she would. As a common law notice, the letter requires that the Queen complies with the request to identify the grave sites and cause of death of the children within 30 days. Says the Queen and the Pope and the ones responsible for the genocide their government and churches did to my school, to my people. She is held up. So I guess she just never responded to it.
That's nice. No accountability.
Yeah.
You got people going to prison for nothing, and then you're killing mass killings of innocent children, and you don't even have to respond to it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They get to live in a palace.
Don't even have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's a world that shouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I think we'd all be better off without it, honestly.
Yeah.
People don't need that much power. We've proven over and over again when man or woman is given that much power, we 9 times out of 10 will abuse that power.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is too is like there is a lot of like wealthy families, and the money gets inherited and like passed down, but there are also a lot of people who make it for themselves,
right?
And that's, I mean, as someone who works as much as I can, like I don't just do it because it's fun. Like I have goals, so I think we just need to have better. The thing is that money can buy power, and that's where it goes. That's where it goes wrong. And like, but
you're earning it.
Yeah.
Some of these people are born into with a crown on their head without ever having to do.
And
anything.
I think there just should be better regulations that separate governmental power from the wealthy. Talking about like lobbying and stuff, like it's the worst. There's no need for us to be bribing political officials. And it's the same thing. I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. The way that our political system should work, it doesn't work this way, and it probably never will, is that a role in some form of government office should not be a career. You should not be seeking that. It shouldn't be something you run for. It should be given to you by the people, and it should be a burden to bear for a certain amount of time, and then it should be passed on to the next eligible person that the people decide.
And a common person, not somebody in power, but somebody that worked their way into it.
You shouldn't be able to run for this and then this.
Yes, you shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't. If someone is trying to obtain that, that should be a disqualification.
Right.
If you're seeking that power, no.
You should really. It should be something that you get drafted.
Yes,
into.
It should be something that is like I'm saying. It should be considered a burden. It should be something that is difficult.
Right.
And a public service.
Right.
Nobody wants to go do jury duty.
Right.
But we need people to be on a jury because we need people who aren't related to the case.
Right.
We need people and not to say that we don't need certain qualifications, because we do need people to be competent for the job. But also that's part of why I think the people should be the ones deciding, and I get it. Like we do vote people into office, but also how many times do you hear, how many times have you heard, I really don't like anyone that's running.
Right.
I don't really like any of this.
Right.
Ideally, I wouldn't vote for any of these people, but since I have to, I guess I'm going to pick the not as bad option.
Right.
And that shouldn't even be something we have to say.
Listen to how that sounds. Like, is that where we are?
Is that really what we want?
As the most powerful country in the world? Like, we're just saying, oh, well, that's the best we have.
This is the less of two evils.
Right.
No, dude, we should have people in there that are really going to make a difference, that are really trying to further this community in this country. And we have a huge opportunity to make things. I mean, dude, it's tough because I'm so young, but I have traveled a lot, and everywhere around the world that I've gone, people talk about, oh, America. Like, and now it's like the conversation is, you know, when I was a kid, I used to dream of moving to America, or I used to dream of like my country being like America.
Right.
Like, we were a light in the darkness, and we have a real opportunity to better the world, but we can't do that until we get our own crap under control. No. And so we need people in office who are competent and truly have our best interest in mind, not people who are, you know, well, I guess I'm going to vote for this person because I don't like that person.
Right.
And I don't like this person, but I hate them less.
Right.
And that's not really.
And these people were all politicians, and they have money, you know, most of them have money. Why don't you just give the working class, everybody, a number, right? And you give those people a number, and you pick off of each individual's
we have
character.
Social Security numbers.
Well, exactly. You pick off their character, what they've done in their lives, how, you know, what they show, not show on paper, but what do they show in their communities. Just take good leaders and put them and make, because people do have to make decisions.
I'll tell you what. You know that leadership guy, John Maxwell?
Yeah.
There was a big joke at one of his things where they were like, people were like, you should run for president. You know, I think he is just, you know, I don't think he's necessarily.
Hey, listen, I got to go get Nick. So just close it out.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Quinn.
Hello.
That point you were making, though,
but I just,
on.
like, with him, like, if other countries call him in to train their leaders, why would he not be a good option for us?
Yeah, right.
If other countries are asking him to come and train their government, he's the perfect, you know, the perfect option. And I get it. You may not, you know, some people may not like him because he's a Christian, or may not like his moral stance. But it's the same thing I said last week. Dude, our political debates, stop talking about should we have guns. Stop talking about should we have abortion. All right? We should have liberties. I think we're too caught up in these small things that we're missing the opportunity to really further, you know, our communities. We should be talking about our schools more. We should be talking about, you know, programs to actually help people instead of the same thing. Like, we should be instead of trying to remove stuff and add new stuff in, we should be looking at programs like unemployment and stuff, those opportunities, and we should be really fine-tuning those to where we're not giving money to people who are wasting it. We're not just, oh, well, I could work, but because, you know, because I make twice as much. If I stopped working and got unemployment, I'd be making tons of money.
So, no, you would. Seriously.
Like that's the easy way out. You know, we should. I think we should really be focused on, because part of what has made America so great is that it is a land of opportunity where people can come and really strive to be better, to work hard. It's a hard working country, if that makes sense. Like even the idea of, and we can get into the whole debate of, you know, how we came and we took the land from natives and stuff like that. But like even the westward expansion, there were, you know, driving people off of their land, I don't think is good. But they're like the people who are out there farming, those farmers were risking everything just to just for the vague notion of a life for their children. So,
and there's something that I will, you know, we may do an episode on. I'm going to be digging into it here soon, and I'll tell you about it if it's something that you're interested. I think that it would be something that you'd be interested in doing some homework on. So we can talk about it, but it has to do with exactly what you said, the importance of the farmers.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
the hardworking people in this country are the people who are going to make a difference. And the problem is
wheels too when you watch it.
Yeah, the problem is we've got all these political debates. It's not about helping the working class. That's not what it's about. No. You know, it's about and people talk about, people make fun of you. Oh, that's just a conspiracy. Oh, you really believe all that? I do think that our system is broken, and I think that our system is broken in a way to where these political officials keep promising
they treat it like Twitter.
Yeah,
like what's trending. That's what they talk about.
Yeah, the lower the lower class and like people who are in poverty. Like, oh well, we're gonna fix it by giving you this. We're gonna fix it by making these people pay more. That's not fixing anything. You're just moving money around. You're not actually fixing anything. You're not providing opportunities for those people to get out of poverty to make something for themselves. You're not giving them those opportunities. You're giving them the opportunity to just keep living the way they're living and have a temporary, stimulus. I don't know.
You're right. And as a generation, I don't want to be part of the generation that votes for the guys that just put words together anymore. No. Let's change some things. Yeah. I don't want to hear the guy who's trending on Twitter. I want to hear the guy that's talking about real social issues that are issues.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's the reason that we do this. If I can present history in a way that it wasn't presented in your textbook, and that somehow influences the way that you see politics.
Yeah. Everyone's got an agenda, and that's the problem.
I think you're onto something here, though, because this needs to be talked about. This is a hot topic right now that needs to be discussed. I think it's perfect for what's going on right now, too, because there's all kinds of change going on. Yeah. And people need to smarten up, man, unless you want to live the next 50 years the same way we've done the last.
People talk about, even you talk about when you were a kid, how it was different. I mean, this is all I know, dude, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
like
tough time.
I'm not into it. I grew up in some in Alabama and some in Florida, but for the most part, I mean, since I was like 6, I lived in small towns in Georgia where nothing was happening. Right. And we moved to Savannah when I'm like 8 or something.
Yep.
And so this is pretty much all I know is the constant political divide and the bickering and the they did this, they did that, it's their fault, whoever's fault. The political party system was designed to help represent a variety of mindsets and thought processes. It was designed to represent everyone in the country, but all it's become is this, it's just about Republican, Democrat. They did this, they did that, and it's not helping anyone, because at the end of the day, we're all Americans, and if we can't get it together, we're not going to have a country to call home.
Right. These are adults fighting like babies.
Yeah.
And both sides are blaming each other and pointing the finger.
And the crazy thing is people will be like, and I get the argument, especially right now with like African Americans talking about, well, it doesn't matter anyways because we never had a home. Our lives didn't matter here. And I get that, dude. There are people I think who have been taken advantage of their whole lives and have really felt that. And
definitely. But
I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm not trying to justify anything. I think they're right. Yeah. But my point is that this is our country. Yeah. And if you really want equality, if you really want change, you're going to have to fight for your home. You can't tear it down. You can't,
don't lose your minds.
Yeah. Don't. Well, you know what I mean? You have to make sure you're focused on what really matters. And what you need is to make a change. You don't need to tear everything down. I get that the rioting and the burning and the looting and everything that gets people's attention, but also you had my attention before that.
Right.
I found out that a cop, basically crushed this man's windpipe, whatever
he was smiling while he did it.
Yeah, like you had my attention immediately.
Yeah.
I get, but the thing is that if you burn everything down, if you tear the system apart, we will not have a place to call home. We need change. We don't need to burn the place to the ground and rebuild. Yeah, exactly. And so,
that's why I said earlier that fine line. You know what I mean?
And that's why I don't think we need. People talk about, well, we just need like a new political party, or we need like someone who's this. I think what we need is we need Americans to step up.
You're right.
This is our country. We shouldn't have to be, if people just understood how to respect each other and their differences, everything would take care of itself.
Right. That's how the Constitution came together. I mean, Americans came together as a country and decided on a constitution to change the world.
And that's the same thing, and that's the same thing I get with the whole argument of, those changes were never to help African Americans, and slaves and stuff. And you're right. Mm-hmm. Like, people own slaves. They, the way that they defined it was not helpful to those people.
Right.
But that's not where we're at right now.
Right.
We may have a history of that, but we have the opportunity, especially as young people, to really make a difference and make this place a truly the land of the free.
Right.
To make it a place with equal opportunity for every race, every, whatever. Doesn't matter.
African Americans are Americans. So why don't we all get in a new room, form a new Constitution stands, but we amend to it. We put more on.
My thing is if it stands, here's
to
the
a
thing.
degree.
Here's the thing. It stands. Talks about it talks about the types of freedoms and liberties and the opportunities that we should have, and how we should have, like, each man should have his chance in this land, I guess. And my point is that we can argue about when it was written, what the words meant.
Right.
But right now,
it's not the time for that.
Right now, I feel like I'm not doing a great job at explaining this. What I'm saying is that
no, you are. I understand what you're saying.
The way it's worded may be the problem,
possibly.
But also, those words could just mean what the way it was written then. All we have to do is apply it to everyone now. If we applied what it says to everyone now, it would be perfect.
You need to get the understanding of, don't look at it as a black person. Look at it as an American.
Yeah.
Now, how do these protect your rights?
Yes, and that's my point. Is that instead of saying, hey, when this was written, it was written to, it wasn't written to protect black people.
Right.
Okay. Well, now here we are now. You're an American. Right. You are free.
Right.
So it does apply to you.
Exactly.
And so what we need is we need those systems to be in place. Like, the systems we have, I think, work on paper. If you took everything we have and we laid it out on paper, it works. The problem is that the people we have enforcing it, the people we have running it are people who really don't have our best interest in mind. And so they're looking for opportunities to bend stuff. They're looking for opportunities to make it fit their agenda. That's not what we need. What we need is people who are looking for opportunities to protect you, me, the person next door, whoever it is. Like, if you are an American citizen, you should be able to walk down through your neighborhood and feel safe.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so
I think where you get this thing with legs too is you get an African American in here and you sit down, you have dialogue with him too.
Yeah.
Give me your side.
And it's tough right now because there are a lot of people who are willing to talk, but there are also a lot of people that are just so upset right now that they don't even know what to say.
Now's probably not the right time.
But we do it. We have a podcast that's dedicated to that. It's about to be right after this. If you want to sit in on
right after.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So it's
tough, dude. I mean,
at least you can breathe down here. You can't even breathe up north. I mean, anything you do now, you feel like you're...
Which is wild because, I will say this. I may not have a whole lot of life experience because of how young I am, but all I do know is that throughout my entire life, the only time I hear about these types of civil unrest, it's all up north. Like, I never hear people down in the South freaking out. And for the South being the stereotypical racist, Confederate, whatever, there is a lot of diversity.
Right.
And my thing is there's got to be something going on. Like, I don't understand how where you're from could be falling apart, and then here it's like, everyone's out in the streets and doing whatever. Like, obviously something's wrong somewhere, and I wish I had this. I wish I had the solution. I just know what I want life to look like for everyone. I know that I want everyone to have equal opportunity and for them to be free and to live unafraid of the power that's in place.
Exactly.
Our government should be here for us. That's the idea.
And they need to get more people up north right now that is going to have an open conversation about this, because what's going on is a lot of talk show hosts are scared to speak. So what they're doing is they're painting an unfair picture of a side that I wish they wouldn't speak on until they have more clarity on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're picking sides without even knowing what side they really pick. And, you know, somebody that's been around that culture and been down in West Philly for various reasons, and I can tell when somebody's phony about it and just speaking off of, oh, well, that's what I say on the radio, but I go behind closed doors and I think something else. Like, those are the people I'm talking about that are bad for this country right now.
That's what's so great about this is because, like, how much of a script have you seen us have today? Like, none.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do any of it, and it's like podcasting has that thing in it, and it has more influence, and it reaches more people, and it's more relevant because, you know, it hits our generation, and, you know, not necessarily the older generation. And so
and we may just be some guys in a room with microphones, but also that's what everyone else is. Like,
exactly.
Like, I'm just some guy. Person down the street's just some guy. Like, we're just people, but we live here, so our voices matter.
That guy.
You know?
This guy.
That guy.
Little Tony Costa.
Yeah, look at the nose.
He's a guy. He's a spiritual dancer.
The thing is to keep putting on points, being passionate about it, like not being fake about it, and that's who I listen to.
I think anyone who's going to get so angry that they're not willing to talk is really not, like, they may not realize it, but I personally believe that that's the problem, because you got to think about it this way. If the system is broken, if we are sitting here, if the argument is that you know, the system's broken and it needs to be destroyed, is what some people are saying. Don't you think that the people who run that system are also capable of influencing the way that you think?
Right.
If they have raised you, like, if they have if the system that's broken has controlled you out of fear your whole life,
right?
Don't you think that they have the ability that's the biggest thing, is I think the protests are good.
Right.
I think that when they turn into riots, that's bad. Exactly. And I think that those, I personally believe, because you can see evidence of it, where there are so many situations where it's like, how did this turn into something violent? Well, it's because someone went out there and started something.
Right.
Yeah. It's
like, my biggest thing that I said when it started happening, I was like, I feel like these crowds are being played. Like, you're being played like a fiddle.
Exactly.
You are falling into a trap. You are playing into their narrative to allow them to say, hey, look at how violent people can be.
That's what I'm saying.
We need more power. We need more control.
Right.
And in the process, you know, you've walked us right into the second wave of coronavirus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
it's too conveniently, it's played out too conveniently, like, clean to be not orchestrated.
Let me share this with you for 1 minute, and then I'll bust out of here. But so at home, growing up in Westchester, PA, Chester County, like, really diverse area. There, I can honestly say, like, a lot of people, all of our neighbors got along. There was never a racial issue. There was never things going on like that at school. And we were black and white was like, we were half in school. Yeah. So it wasn't like white preceded over the black. And what we got was, I saw some of them that I went to school with and stuff speaking on the racial issues and outright lying about what they had gone through. Like, dude, I know where you grew up. I know the house that you grew up in. Like, we've had dinner together. Like, that stuff didn't happen to you, you know? And that was some of the things I started seeing early on a couple months ago that really got me to a place where, like, okay, let's be careful with this, because if you're just trying to relate to your fellow brother, I understand that. Yeah. But don't paint a false narrative for others, because it's a powerful stage right now. Use it. Don't water it down.
Don't abuse it.
Exactly. If somebody does some research on you and you're standing up for a cause that's not real, how good is your word at that point? And you can bring the whole thing down.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy, dude. I mean, it's a fragile.
Anyone who's looking for revenge, I'm not interested in.
Right.
And supporting. But if people are truly wanting change, then let's do it.
Right.
Like, I think
do it the right way.
Here's the thing. We have a huge opportunity to make a difference right now.
Yeah.
And let's not throw it away because of silly stuff. Yeah. I mean, really, like, at the end of the day, I don't know how to describe it better than that. Let's not lose our minds and throw it away. You know, you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be upset. Let's use that. You know,
and up north, if they don't calm down, they're going to ruin it, because they don't want to even hear. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
A podcast like this, you've got
to be able to use that anger to to motivate you.
Yeah, right.
It's got to motivate you. It can't consume you.
No.
And the problem is a lot of people are letting it consume them. They're letting it they are becoming full of hate. You know, the only things they can say are hateful things. They don't have anything positive. They're not really bringing change. They're just spitting out.
And people believe stuff with no
Merit.
No context, no anything. I literally, we talked about it last episode, but it just, I had to block, like, literally, this dude is he's like the person that I look up to the most. He is the biggest podcast. He basically invented podcasting.
Yeah.
And, his girlfriend had retweeted basically a fake text message between her or between somebody and like a comedian that I really like insinuating that he was trying to procure nudes from like a 9-year-old boy. And, I was just like, yeah, like, what are we doing? Like, there's plenty of people who are going to see this and that's what they're going to think.
Right.
Just people. I mean, that's the same thing. Like, what we were talking about, when we were looking at it, it's like the date doesn't even make sense. The date on it is not like, what was it, 2009? 2010, and his whole deal didn't start till 2017.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't have happened then. It's the biggest thing.
Right.
And people and what happens is people, you say that and people are like, well, it has his name on it. It's like, dude, I could make a screenshot of you saying anything from this.
Yeah, right.
I could do it in 5 minutes. Make you say anything using my phone.
Yeah.
It's not like we can't, like, people. It's like this. People just say stuff. They just say whatever they're thinking, and then people just believe it.
Since when did that happen? When do you need no evidence to support
I don't know.
a claim?
It's
you can just
wild,
defraud anybody's name out there now. It's like, dude, it's scary to me because if you become somebody and somebody wants to come at you and attack you and accuse you of things,
dare them.
They suspend you. They kick you off the board. They tell you you're done here until we do.
Here's the deal. What? If someone wants to come over here and come at me over something, if it's something legitimate, all right, maybe I screwed up, but I'm not about to sit here and let you like make up stuff about me. I've never been into that. As a kid, I would hear some other child starting some crap about me and be like, hey, guess what? It's not true. Like, I'm not going to let someone push me around like that. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, it's like middle school, dude. Yeah, right. We're sitting around, we're making up stuff about each other because what? Because we want a turn in the seat of power. Yeah. We want to be at the front of the line. We want to hold the little rope that all the other kids got to hang on to, walk into the bathroom. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just weird times.
We got to get out of here, man.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Good talking with you guys. Yeah, definitely. It was fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at TBAT Quinn.
Give it the lower third some time. Mine is I'm on Twitter. It's at TBAT SKINERICK. Also on Reddit now. Apparently, I did that off a whim.
Yeah.
Post some memes.
Oh my gosh, dude! Just try to call both of us, man. I don't know. All right, let's just.
I put it on the wide camera.
Okay,
so we can close it.
Twitter. I mean Reddit.
I can't think of anything else.
Go ahead and send it to me so I can get it out.
Yeah, we will. So thank you all again for watching. This is episode 41, and we'll see y'all next time.
Okay, I love you. Bye.